When it comes to making content online, there's an expected level of quality that must be achieved in order to be successful. This includes an abundance of video editing, quality audio, and branding. And whilst our online titans make it look easy, there's often one we don't talk about that either breaks or makes a YouTube channel. And of course talking about drama and being an asshole. After all, anyone can hide behind a mask and say whatever they want.
That's what the point of the mask is.
This includes being an art critic, but when it comes to critiquing, there's no one more infamous than Daftpina. So sit back, relax, and grab a hot coffee, or a Pepsi if that's more your thing, as we inquire about Daftpina, Cowardice critique. But who is Daftpina? Daftpina is a YouTuber well known for his discussions and reviews of more unknown projects, such as Satire, Teen Z, Effort Erased, Zoophobia, and Pencilmation. Oftentimes he discusses the production and the community response, though not often actually giving a critique himself.
But what did you think of the first episode?
It was okay.
That said, his videos tend to offer some form of lesson to the viewer, be it an aspiring creative or someone who's just tuning in.
Upon diving into her content, I was like, hey, there's a lot we can learn here. Everything from growing a channel, voice acting, and even branding will be discussed and learned about in this video. And how can this apply to you, the viewers like you? But overall, I'm Daftpina, and this is Rebecca Parham, Unsold Exile.
Oh yes, that is actually quite inspirational of him. I must say, every time I watch a video, it makes me want to do less murder and do something a bit more artistic or postmodernistic, if you will.
In saying all that, he has a tendency to report on various dramas, as well as merchandise from some YouTubers, specifically the odd ones out.
I don't know why he does it. It's like the guy is obsessed. I honestly think he's clout chasing, considering his subscriber base is a fraction in comparison.
So the question we have to ask is, are his videos actually good? When watching his videos, there's a certain style he uses, and it becomes abundantly clear he puts a lot of time and effort into his videos. He makes use of customly made cards, as well as a soundtrack he paid for, which is more than a lot of other bigger creators can say, who often use Epidemic, who actually has some pretty underrated bangers.
Try not to hold me. I said you can do what you want to with me, yeah, I won't mind. Why am I the only one who's left in the ring with nobody to hold on to?
Or YouTube's own music library. This shows his dedication to the craft and the fact he wants to take it seriously to the point of a job. And, you know, for the satire of this video, I may or may not have found his soundtrack and downloaded it. Moving back to the visuals, they are quite nice. He has a dedicated set that he films on that I kinda tried to recreate. He does do that typical thing of blurring an image to use as a background, while he has it more focused in on the center. He also hires voice actors to read these screenshots, and that's kind of rare.
Fear of it? Based on the amount of times he talks about the server and on Twitter?
Social media is the synthetic voice that makes everyone loud and clear. So even though most of the world hates these PC SJW dipshits, they can only thrive in an environment that's as fake as them.
Something I've seen before. Not caring about being revealed, they said.
Did I say terrible things? Depends on who you ask. I'm not going to apologize when I can't even show you the context of these conversations.
And will often change the Discord calls when he has a guest that he needs to address.
Long before Satina was a twinkle in US-based animator Hannah Daigo's eye, she created comics, one specific of note being Felinia. I'm sorry.
Centers around this character Blaze, who is it's kind of in theme to Satina. His father was a forest dweller and his mother was a city dweller.
Already reusing concepts, Hannah.
Yeah, I'm just a hack, dude.
With a near perfect blend of research and production qualities, it's hard to not recommend him. if it weren't for his skeletons in his closet. Daft is known for having an ego about himself, which often makes him an arsehole.
Oh yeah, I know a thing or two about ego. After all, I'm Franz Arcana, and I know everything about ego. After all, I'm an egomaniac. And that Daftpina, oh yeah, he is such an egomaniac. But not as much as I, a Franz Arcana, the charm.
One of his more ruthless critiques is of Chili Panda, who is nor an artist or an animator. Yet she still makes storytime videos like her inspirations, Jade Animations, Rebecca Parham, and Cypher Den.
Hey guys, it's Chili, and I have a confession to make. I drink coffee for medical reasons.
And considering she's a hobbyist who's actually studying computer science, it's no wonder that she's not the best in her channel's trade.
How original. Weird things you did as a kid, talking about how socially awkward you are, just like every other animator out there. Your roommates' videos. Hey, I did that one first, I think. You know what? Tabs, where's that bat? Hey guys, it's Chili.
And while visually her content was objectively bad, she clearly did something right as to garner over 30,000 subscribers when Daft decided to attack her.
So inside and out of her videos, her art is terrible. And if I was 22 like her, I think I'd just stop drawing and try a new hobby. I mean, maybe she's a great painter or musician, but just not drawing. Well, since you're not an animator, since you only make drawings, I'd call you an artist. Then again, you're not an artist either, so I'll just call you trash.
Oh! Give constructive criticism. Most of us love that. But don't try to bring them down on what they do and try to get them to quit because they're copying your senpais.
Okay, I'm not telling you to quit drawing because you're copying someone else. I'm telling you to quit drawing because you can't draw. And judging by your art over the course of a year, you'll never be able to draw.
If she was trying to become a professional animator, I'd probably share the sentiment. But the fact remains, it was a side project, and one she kinda did well. Today, she sits at nearly 200,000 subscribers, and objectively her content style visually has actually improved. Though, the audio is still shit. I'm also an audio engineer. The common argument is that we cannot judge a person based on their past actions, which I suppose is true, as he has removed the video. But taking a look at Daft's more recent videos, it becomes clear that he prefers to attack anything he doesn't agree with, such as the case of Rebecca Parham in his video that he strangely titled Unsold Exile? I don't get it either. The video goes on to ridicule her for her lacking diversity in character voices.
And now I present to you a perfect recreation of Rebecca Parham's voice acting abilities with the help of Ule Tiger. Enjoy.
Here's that guy Bob from Bob's Burgers. Hi, I'm Bob from Bob's Burgers. How about that show Archer? You watch that show Archer? Hi, I'm Archer from that show Archer. Thank you.
And non-use of sound design.
Except she herself is a very good animator that doesn't really use sound effects.
Not at this tiny school. We didn't have a cafeteria. We all ate in the gym.
And whilst they are actually fair critiques, it's ultimately the style that Parham goes for, and something that has stood out considering she has over 3 million subscribers. He claims she should be better because she studied animation and is a professional. But to all you animators in the room, I ask, how often are you tasked with sound design, and how often do you even think about it?
Honestly, I don't know how he gets off on that. I mean, I'm a professional murderer, but you don't see me telling people how to murder. If they want to murder their own way, well, that's fine. They can do it that way, and I'll do it mine. After all, it's still effective. Murder is murder. Although I guess when it comes to art, that's even more subjective, is it not?
Most of the time when he critiques something, it's more or less a guide on how not to fuck up like everyone else did. On a platform where fucking up is part of the charm? Being a harsh critique is one thing, but one thing he can't escape is his recent attempt to blackmail someone and accidentally doxing them in the process. Following his most recent video on Lulaboo, some of his fans on Twitter contacted him, informing him that someone named Tina Fate was doing bad things. Without going into too much detail, it involved an underage fan of Tina and photos that probably shouldn't have been shared. I'm looking at the script. In Daft's response, however, he goes on to reveal he tracked down Tina's personal Facebook and accidentally showed evidence that linked Tina Fate to the account. And of course, within minutes of posting, people were able to track down this very real account that he attempted to censor. And that Tina wasn't a she, but a he, who was actually named David. Daft then invited David to do a Discord video call where they would look at his questionable history. What kind of a rap sheet does this guy have? Morally conflicted relationship aside, Daft's actions can be defined as arguably arselistic and an attempt to just make more profit, which is what he does already. Digging through the channel more, we can see how much he's fried with these kinds of contents, especially when he uses titles like Twitter Scammer, Hidden Hypocrisy, Incel Discord, Art Predator, and Child Groomer. It's no surprise to see he would engage with such stories just to make a cheap profit. Question then arises, does Daft make his videos for actual education, or just money? And is it a good idea to support a person who opens a can of worms, potentially endangering a person's life and reputation, just to make a few dollars? It's pretty arselistic. Or even slandering a cartoon, when he only has one ever posted to his name, and it resembles more of a gacha life than a real cartoon. In such a case, we have to ask, is Daft really the right person to be getting our lessons from? Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, please do not subscribe, because I do not make this content often. I repeat, do not make this content often. So please, do not subscribe. After all, this was just a university project. Also, I'd like to thank myself for providing the voices in this video, as well as my sister Emily, who was the great cinematographer behind this video. Also, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Raid Shadow. Wait, do we have Raid Shadow Legends?
No, we didn't get them.
Ah!